Okay, much love, many blessings. Moving on to Gemini for the Aquarius season. So with Gemini, we have Mahavidya, and we have the major arcanas, definitely symbolic of the mother figure, the Empress. The Empress figure did come up reversed or with an inversion, so this definitely can call within your awareness as you're resonating to bring awareness to matters of how you feel with your mother figure, or at least with your divine feminine energy. At minimum, your creative force that you are feeling within yourself. Now, Gemini being an air sign, a very flowy air sign, one of polarity associated with the lungs or the heart chakra, because that's how we breathe and communicate, ruled by Mercury. This sign can be a little misconstrued or misunderstood just because of duality and the separation of the logical mind and the subconscious heart, whereas other people operate with those things kind of centered or with a natural polarity with the laws of Maya or duality. But elaborating more, especially with Gemini during this season, there's definitely been a lot of flowing, making sure that information makes sense for you. Air signs across the board do have a lot of opportunity during the age of Aquarius as a whole or collectively. But during this season, it may be a lot easier for you to put certain plans of action into motion. So let's really dive into her energy and what Mahavidya is really expressing as its channel message for the Geminis this season. Obviously with Mahavidya, she is unrestrained, unlimited, wild, and unconditional love. The heart knows how to attract grace and manifest creative resolution where the mind only sees difficulties. A spiritual awakening of tremendous value is opening for you as your inner being reorients itself around the increasing inner light. Established structures built upon lesser foundations will have to give way. She demands the courageous embrace of experience. She is your call to initiate and grow. Your invitation to embrace your path. Rise and greet your destiny. So yeah, you know, if you've been seeing your Gemini friends, they're not really waiting for anything right now. This feels like their time, their season. They have things that they want to set into motion. And they've been feeling as if they've been held back. A lot of you have been feeling as if you've been held back for quite some time. And Mahavidya is symbolically letting you know that you have all the tools available, because Mahavidya also represents how Kali has every tool available for the needs at the time. So it's simply a stepping out and just getting in there and doing what's right. Sometimes without necessarily the regard or the weight of the attachment of emotions and whether the outcome will manifest in its favor for you. So Mahavidya has a lot of great wisdom, and it manifests through the 10 wisdoms of the goddesses. Mahavidya is a primordial Kali in multiple expressions. So this is Kali in her Kali by nature is a Shakti energy, so just that means that she's containerless. But this is Kali in her phase in which she's more the primordial mother. So that means that when we deal with anything primordial, anything can come out of it. Whatever it is that you need, you're at the source by nature, providing whatever is needed to serve the spiritual benefit of all beings. This is true wisdom, always shifting in response to what is needed. There are times when no matter how logical an approach may be, no matter how commonly acknowledged as correct or how sensible it may seem, the heart nudges us towards a different way. Knowledge can come from experience, yet it cannot guarantee evolution on its own. We can outgrow problems and birth superior outcomes only when we are willing to learn from our experiences and have courage to be moved in new ways along untried paths that resonate with our heart. So this is also confirmation as well, especially seeing the Empress double backing on this message, is that we're not necessarily using our creative force, and this is a call to address areas in which we may feel that we question what it is that our bodies tell us, because the divine mother within you is listening to your body. If your body is telling you you're feeling that spinning sensation within your solar plexus when you're around somebody you don't trust, and you ignore that, then you don't trust the discernment of what your body tells you. Your body never lies to you. You and your logical mind only tell yourself that something is more or less than what it is. So this is also a call to be listening to what your body says, but also when you feel those things, the fact that it says that your body needs to acknowledge this state, but may not guarantee the evolution on its own. Remember, by nature of it being in its primordial state, yes, you got the thing that you wanted out of it, but primordial means that it's not even in a state that is conducive to being structured. So anything that comes out of a primordial ooze is just happening. So it may be the thing that you need, but it may not have transformed, evolved, or upgraded to what it is that you truly need to be as useful as what you would like. So this means that you're creating things in the world. You may have relationships, but they aren't trustworthy. You may have the job that you want, but you don't have peace of mind. You know, you may be in a field of expertise that everybody around you is commending you for. You're getting these accolades, but you're only doing it because your family has told you that this is what they want from you. So it's not in the stage that you want it to be in yet. It's really just its base form. This also lets you know as well, we can outgrow problems and birth superior outcomes only when we are willing to learn from our experiences and have the courage to move into new ways that are untried. Though they're encouraged in our hearts, knowledge can become wisdom. Wisdom is known by its effect. So wisdom is really hands-on experience. It elicits healing, transformation, and provides a path through any difficulty. So it's also letting you know that sometimes when you go to birth something or create something, that it may not always be easy. Sometimes you might need a C-section. Sometimes it might not be a natural birth. You might get to do a Lotus birth. But the process in and of itself should not dictate whether or not things are either going successful or not. Things happen. You may feel bound by unwanted circumstances. The way to be free from the oppressed or constriction you are feeling is through wisdom. So that means you got to go through some things to see what it is that's necessary to get out on the other side. We always want to have the handbook. You know, a lot of times, you know, I think about just old school video games or old school things that we've done growing up and how technology makes us so complacent. You know, how people would just run to YouTube to find the walkthrough. You know, back in the 90s, you had to just play through this shit. You had to figure that shit out. You know, you might have a Game Genie or a magazine that was up for that month, but you had to wait till next month to get the updated stuff. Now people just jump online and want to see the walkthrough so that they can follow the guidelines themselves. But the difference between the person back in the day who didn't have them walkthroughs, who had to figure it out on their own, versus the person who follows that walkthrough step by step, is they didn't have to suffer through any of the experiences. So they don't know the knowledge. They don't know why they're doing what they're doing. They just know that this works. So there's an advantage that you're missing out on because you never want to break a nail. You never want to experience things. The moment things get a little hard to your creative force, you want to pull back. You want to get the whole abortion. You want to just pull out completely. You want to kill the life off. And you want to kill your own divine life off in the situations. This is a confirmation that sacrifice is required to obtain anything that you desire. You have to surrender your fixed opinions and judgment based off of self-cherished viewpoints. Self-cherishing is a term from a Buddhist tradition which holds wisdom in a very high regard. Self-cherishing viewpoint sounds as though it is self-loving, but it's not. It is a viewpoint that reinforces the ego. It generates fear, confusion, and anxiety. It does not really love the self and wants the best for the soul. It wants the universe to behave in a predictable way according to the whims and desires of the ego. This is that ego bubble we're talking about. This is you telling that the divine has to present the thing that you've been asking for exactly as you want it. Or I'm not going to accept the gift that's birthed from this situation. I'm not going to accept what's been given. It could be that the self-cherishing viewpoint reinforces the idea of being superior to others. Or alternatively, it could be based on the idea that we are inferior and deserving of a poor treatment. In action, the self-cherishing viewpoint is akin to a child who only wants to drink sugary drinks, perhaps because they remind her of her birthday party when she feels like a princess. She wants to always feel so special. When a good plate of broccoli or carrots and gaps, the glass of water, the self-cherishing viewpoint of the child is thwarted. The universe is not behaving according to her viewpoints. The wisdom in response to this is a disentangledness of a healthy desire to escape from our innate worth from the circumstances. We can then realize that the unexpected veggies are a gift of love and well-being. There is no distress, only growth and learning. Self-cherishing viewpoints prevent us from accessing wisdom. Instead, it attempts to lock the universe into behaving according to our own limited view. And when it does not, we feel anxiety, distress, and confusion. We interpret the plate of veggies to mean that we don't matter, that we have no value, and that we never get what we want, and so forth. However, when we want lemonade and life hands us lemons, the wisdom within will prevent us from despairingly and inspiring us to become creative. And maybe find a lemon press or even grow an orchard. If things don't appear to be working out, do not buy into self-cherishment limitations that create distress and confusion in your heart. There is an interpretation of what is happening that will bring you peace. You are not being punished or denied. You are being assisted on your path. Although you may feel thwarted that viewpoint shall be temporary, it will give way to the realization that you are deeply loved, cherished, and in an authentic, soul-honoring way, you have nothing to fear. So remember, love, this is also a call to remember that you are not being thwarted, you are not being denied the things that are going on. And sometimes you as Gemini have a tendency to throw yourself, you'll hear sound advice and then you still have to throw yourself into the situation, and people will be looking at y'all like, what the fuck? How did y'all just get into this goofy ass situation? And a lot of times it's because of that polarity. You have to experience the thing that is the opposite of what it is that you lack the knowledge on. You sometimes have to experience things firsthand, or at least get up face to face with it to understand what's taking place. But honor during this time to not dismiss things simply because of your perspective, and that things that might feel a little discomfort or might feel like they're holding you back are not necessarily bad for you. They just might be the thing that you need in that moment. Sometimes you got to take some medicine that has a bitter taste to it. Wormwood tea don't taste the best, but look what it does for you. You know what I'm saying? All in all, much love and many blessings. I hope that this is resonating with your spirit and that you can empower yourself during this Aquarius season to make visionary things that are indicative and coincide with what it is that you truly wish to find fulfilling. Understand that all the tools are available to you. They just have to be cultivated. The thing that you birth is not quite at the stage of maturity that is needed to be fully utilized. Remember, when you birth a baby, you don't sit up there and wonder why it's not, fucking bringing in a fucking PhD. No, you appreciate that this baby has been birthed, but you know that it will grow to become this amazing thing, this amazing person that you can look at and be proud of. So understand that everything in its primordial state is still growing and still being nurtured. Don't hold it accountable or see it as a reflection of something that you're lacking. Allow things to grow and accept what the wisdom is being brought to you during this time. Many blessings, much love, and ashe.